the day I take office, I will cancel Crooked Joe's electric vehicle mandate, okay? Unless Mario doesn't want me. Unless Mario says don't do it, or Steve. Steve, can I do it, Steve? I don't know. Unless Mario says don't do it, otherwise I'll do it. We're going to cancel it the first day. In fact, I even said the first hour. After the speech, you know the long, beautiful runway you walk up after the speech? I will sign the papers as I'm walking up, okay? We won't even wait till I get to the office. True, that's what they wanted to do. I withdrew from the disastrous Paris Climate Accord, which was a ripoff. It sounds nice. I want the Texas Climate Accord. I don't want the Paris. We don't need Paris Climate Accord. We want the Texas Climate Accord. It's supposed to have just a small little gathering to talk about drilling and things like that. And the small little gathering turned out to be a very large gathering. A lot of people outside can't get in. So we want to thank you all, this tremendous spirit that we have. And that is a very good group of people right over there. Thank you very much. And it's great to be back with thousands of proud, hard-working American patriots who believe in faith and family, God and country, oil, gas, and guns, right? You almost say, how do you vote for a Democrat? They don't believe, think of this, they don't believe in guns, they don't believe in oil, and they don't believe in God. And they've shown that. They don't believe in God. So I think we're going to have to start setting a lot of records because people are very turned off to the alternative. And, you know, we ran twice, we won twice, we did much better the second time. But let me just tell you, there's far more spirit today, and we're just about a year out. Can you believe it? In 78 days or so, we have our caucus in Iowa. Weeks ago, our world was shattered by an attack on Israel. To every Israeli and every American touched by these barbaric activities, we love you. You have to understand that. We love you and we're with you and we grieve with you. We share your anger and we stand with you 100%. Okay? 110%. Let there be no doubt the killers responsible for this horrible massacre will burn forever in the eternal pit of hell. They're going to burn forever. Long time. On that terrible Saturday morning, the world saw once again that the conflict between Israel and Hamas is not a conflict between two equal sides. This is a fight between civilization and savagery, between decency and depravity, and between good and evil. There is no comparison between a group that worships death and a group that cherishes life and cherishes our nation. Every single life that is lost in this conflict is on the shoulders of Hamas alone. It's Hamas alone. And I think you have to really add in the word Iran. Iran. People don't want to talk about it. There can be no sympathy, no excuses, and no escape from these monsters. And we will do what has to be done. And yet Joe Biden's feeble first act, one of the worst messages I've ever seen sent out to bad people, after more than 1,400 innocents, including over 40 Americans, were murdered or kidnapped. And think of this, we immediately announced that we're giving Hamas $100 million. We're going to give it to them into Gaza, but they take it 100% of it. They don't take 90%, they take 100%. Mark knows that better than anybody. They take 100% and we give them money hand over fist, and we've been doing that for many years. And then a speech was made declaring that if you support Israel, you must give billions of dollars for open borders in Ukraine. In other words, they want to wield it all together. And you don't wield it together. They have to all stand on their own. Unlike Biden, he's terrible. Worst president in our history by worst president. He's the worst president. He's the most incompetent president. When I'm back in the White House, the United States will stand with Israel all the way, 100%, without hesitation, without qualification, and without any apology. We're not going to be apologizing. We won't be apologizing. We're not going to be apologizing. We will fully support the Israelis in their mission to ensure that Hamas is decimated and these atrocities will be avenged. They will be avenged. In many ways, they'll be avenged. I think even beyond what you're thinking about. Joe Biden's weakness caused the attack on Israel. Pure weakness and incompetence. Everywhere he goes, Biden's weakness provokes war and death because, as history shows, evil only respects one thing: unyielding strength. You've got to be strong, otherwise they're going to be taking over and they're going to be doing things that you wouldn't even believe. When I'm back in the White House, America's enemies will now once again, and they're going to know it, that if you try to kill our citizens, we will kill you. We will kill you. I told them all that. We had no problem. You know, we had no problem 3 years ago. We had no problem for 4 years. Nobody even, this is unthinkable. I mean, I just watch and see what's happening. It's unthinkable. This couldn't have happened. Mark, couldn't have happened. Although you maybe were more deeply involved than anybody, but I don't think you even believed a thing like this could have happened, Mark. If you spill a drop of American blood, we will spill a gallon of yours. We do not. And we're doing it because we want to start peace. We're not going to start wars, but the wars have to be finished oftentimes before the peace. And if you don't do the wars, the peace doesn't happen. And if you're not going to be tough and ruthless like they are, it's not going to happen. We have to stop it. We have to end it once and for all. Under my leadership, we will not squander our strength by trying to build democracies or in quicksand like we try to do. Let's take over a country and let's make it into a democracy. How does that work out? Not too good. Or turn Baghdad into Palm Beach. Palm Beach. Doesn't work out too well. But we will use American power to deter those who would harm our people. You do a damn good job at farming. But I will tell you, they want to take your car industry away. They're going to take it away. They're going to do the electric vehicle nonsense. You know, you drive, you put a little circle around your house. You can't go outside the circle. You'll never come back. You can drive it. The first 10 minutes is one of the greatest feelings on earth. The next hour, you're in trauma, thinking about where the hell are you going to have the car charged. Oh, you had that. Yeah, you had that. Now, we want to have choice in schools, and we want to have choice in cars, right? You want gasoline if you want. Have anything. You know, they want to make your trucks and your tractors electric, too. Anybody have a nice, big, beautiful John Deere? Raise your hand, yes? How would you like to have a big battery attached to the top of it? Bigger than the tractor itself. You know, that's part of the problem. It's got a lot of problems. They want that to be. They want our army tanks to be all electric. So that when we go into enemy territory, blasting the hell out of everybody, we do it in an environmentally friendly way. Okay? That's what they're doing. These people are crazy. They're crazy. And they want your trucks. I'm meeting with the trucking industry next week. They want your big trucks. They take these loads so big. And, you know, you have Peter built some great firms. They make these incredible trucks, these cabs, and they can go for 2,000 miles. With an electric, you can go for 300 miles, and the battery's so big you'll have no room to store anything else. Other than that, it's wonderful. And it doesn't have actually the pull weight, supposedly. But think of that. How crazy is it, right? And so the trucking industry is, they don't know what to do because there's nobody, they don't even listen to them. 2,000 miles versus 300 miles. You don't have to say anything else. But also the batteries are massive. You know, I was in South Carolina the other day, the boating industry, and I was with some incredible companies that make boats. And one of them, they said, you know, there's a problem. They don't want us to go faster than 2 miles an hour now. Because, listen to this, they don't want to hurt the whales. There's only been one whale affected in the last 50 years. And yet they'll build windmills all over the ocean, and the whales are washing up at short levels never seen before. But they want a battery boat, a fully electric boat. And, you know, you have those beautiful Mercury engines and the other ones, the outboards and the inboards, and they're great. A little tiny smell of a little gasoline is okay, right? It's, you know, something. because we have more of it than anybody else by far. But they want the boats. I said to the guy, well, how do you think it'll work? He said, well, it's a problem because the battery's so big, we won't have any room for anybody. We'll be sitting on top of a battery, and we're not sure that we can make the boat float. It's so heavy. And I asked him, and I told it's just to one of the group. I said, so let's say the boat starts to sink and you're sitting on top of this massive battery and you get electrocuted. Do you get electrocuted? I mean, I don't want to be near that battery in the water. The problem is there may be a shark about 10 yards away. And you know what I said? I'll take the battery every single time. But they want to make boats all electric too, and it's just great. What they're doing is insane. In California, they have blackouts every weekend. California's a mess. You know, Gavin Newsom is talking about, it's one. This guy, let me just tell you, California is a complete wreck, and their price just hit $8 a gallon for gasoline. Okay? Don't worry about it. You're not that far behind Iowa. You're hitting all-time record gas prices right now. You know, he used what we did. We filled up the strategic reserves, and he used that to keep prices low for the election. And now it's at the lowest level it's ever been. And that was supposed to be for things like war, not for filling up somebody's gasoline tank. The TPP was a Wall Street hit job on manufacturing and communities, and just like this one, actually, it would have slaughtered millions and millions of American jobs, and I kept you out of it. Ron DeSanctimonious voted for that TPP globalist betrayal of American workers. You would have lost half your jobs, and he proudly supported it alongside of beautiful Hillary Clinton. See, we don't call her crooked anymore. We changed that now. The very beautiful Hillary Clinton, Barack Hussein Obama, Rhino Paul Ryan. Did you ever hear of Rhino Paul? We have a new name for him, Rhino Paul Rhino. He's such a rhino, we do it twice. Rhino Paul Ryan. Rhino Paul Rhino. Joe Biden and the rest of the establishment, these are all people that I don't know, do they hate our country? You look at the things they approve. So Washington. When I get back into the Oval Office, we will totally obliterate the rest of the deep state. We're going to obliterate it. And we will together restore law and order in our country. We will completely overhaul the DOJ to investigate every Marxist prosecutor in America for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. And on day one, I will also sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. And I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or any mask mandate. We're not kidding. There will be no mask mandates. And incredibly, that I even have to say this because it's so ridiculous that it could even be a subject, I will keep men out of women's sports. And just as I did for 4 years very successfully, nobody's done it like I did, I will fully uphold our great Second Amendment. I will fully uphold. And I will continue to protect innocent life. We will restore quickly free speech, and I will totally secure our elections so catastrophic results like we had cannot be had again. That can't have. To have a great country, you need borders and you need free and clear and beautiful elections, and we don't have either. This is what we must do in conclusion to restore our country to greatness. And crooked Joe Biden's banana republic ends on November 5th, 2024. It's a banana republic.